Power integrity plays a very important role when it comes to decide whether the chip is gonna successful or whether it fails. If proper power is not supplied to the cells of the design, then the functionality, the timing, and many other aspects of the chip doesn't work. In essence, everything will fail if there is no proper power being supplied to the integrated circuit. So in this video, we are going to discuss what is power integrity, what are the power integrity issues in VLSI, and what is IR drop and types of IR drops, and how to fix the IR drop issues. By definition, power integrity is the closeness of a power supply or power delivery network to its ideal or constant power supply despite the changes in power input or load power consumption. Simply put, power integrity is the analysis which is done to ensure whether proper voltage and current has been transferred from the power supply to the destination, which is the cell. Although we need a power supply which is as close as an ideal power supply, there are some characteristics that a practical power supply has, such as load regulation, bandwidth limitations, max output capability, and delivery network impedance. So there are issues with these power supplies, and one of the very important issues is what is called as IR drop. So IR drop is nothing but the drop in voltage with load current. But this is also related to the source resistance by definition for regulated DC power supplies. So if you consider the source resistance, it's nothing but V no load minus V full load divided by I full load. If you remember, source resistance is always in series with the power supply. So the power delivery network, power rails are themselves act as source resistance. Since these are metals, we are calling this as IR drop, where V is equal to IR by Ohm's law. And Ohm's law works only for metals, it doesn't work for semiconductors. But what do we need? The lower the source resistance or impedance, the higher the capacity of the source to provide power to the load, and it will increase the quality. So we have to minimize this IR drop as much as we can. The second type of issue is electromagnetic induction. The first type that I mentioned can be categorized into one type of IR drop. I'll discuss that later when I discuss about the IR drop types. So second type is electromagnetic induction, which is also categorized sometimes as a part of IR drop only. When the load is released, an overshoot or transient rise bigger than the dip is seen, followed by damped oscillations of the power supply voltage. So also the rush current can be seen. So this is the problem of dynamic switching of the circuit. So this leads to electromagnetic induction because the current changes its direction, and the changes in the current has to be opposed by something, by Faraday's law and Lenz's law from fundamentals of physics. And the third type of problem is interaction between inductance and capacitances. So there are very small inductances in the IC. The combination of L and C will produce some type of circuit called as LC tank circuit. LC tank is actually an oscillator circuit. Since we are having a DC power supply, we don't want any oscillations, but these are parasitic LC tanks, so they tend to create oscillations in the circuitry. So now let's concentrate on IR drop. IR drop is the voltage drop in the metal wires constituting the power grid before it reaches the power pins of the standard cell. There are different types of IR drops that we can see. The first type is static IR drop, and it is the IR drop due to average voltage drop because of RC resistance of the PG, the power grid. And for static IR drop, the leakage current is very important reason. So we can calculate the static IR drop, the voltage drop, which is equal to I average times the resistance of the wire. And second type is dynamic IR drop, and this is due to high switching activity of the transistors, and it happens because of an increased current requirement during switching. If there are a large amount of switching cells which are switching simultaneously, the current demand will be high in that localized area, which may result in setup and hold violations because the voltage may go down. If you look at this picture where the concept of voltage droop and ground bounce is discussed. So voltage droop is a phenomenon where uh, the power supply voltage goes significantly below, so that the cell will have some timing violations, right? As the power supply goes down, the cells slow down, and also the ground bounce is also similar kind of issue. And as I said, it is the transients that create this problem because of a rush current that happens, right? So if you want to see a picture of how transient looks like, this is how it looks like. It creates overshoots, and eventually it will damp down, and finally it tries to go to the stable state. So if you want to calculate the dynamic IR drop which is being dissipated, then it is V dynamic, which is equal to L times the change in current, the rate of change of current, which is di by dt. So now we know what is IR drop and what are the types of IR drop. Now we can see how to reduce this IR drop in our design. So cell padding or distribution of cells is one type. Cell padding can help because we can move simultaneously switching cells away from each other, which may reduce the localized need for current. Use multiple straps and multiple power vias. This will add parallel paths and provide lesser resistance for the current to flow. Downsize the cells. Again, downsize the cells will reduce the load capacitance, and this will reduce the static IR drop. We can also insert decap cells, which are explicitly added decoupling capacitance cells. As we all know, the fundamental property of the capacitor is to oppose the change in voltage. If the circuit has the voltage which is higher than the capacitor voltage, then the capacitor will charge up and make sure that in the circuit the voltage is stable. And if the circuit has lesser voltage than that of the capacitor, then the capacitor will discharge and try to maintain that voltage. Use of low power cells is highly done in the modern design techniques, where multi-threshold voltage cells are being used. High VT cells are low power cells. We can also split the output capacitance using distributed buffers. So this will reduce the output load capacitance and thus reduce the static error up due to RC. And final technique would be clock gating, which reduces the dynamic power dissipation. And I have a video on clock gating. You can watch that for more information. So this is a brief discussion on what is IR drop and its types and its reduction mechanisms or techniques that we can follow during the design phase. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.